Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Josh Brett Horton, and this is Josh Brett Horton Show, episode 4. I know I'm dropping episodes left and right on y'all, but I thought that it would be cool to drop an episode where I can show everyone where I grew up. Now, I was born in the city of Spartanburg, in the city, but I was raised right out here in the country. And as you can see, there's not much traffic on this road. Not at all, you know. It's all peace and quiet. But now, as I've got older, I've moved to the city. I moved to Far City, and the houses are all close and everything. But there was nothing like living here. Growing up here, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Uh, but yeah, as you can see, Monroe Road. And you can notice the horse crossing sign I actually put on there because I used to have a lot of horses down here. So we're going to check it out. And check it out. Give y'all the tour. Give y'all the tour of Monroe Road. If you are ready. All right. Here we go. Right here, we're going to go straight down the road to where it began. And what I'm talking about is one of the first places that I lived down here. See, it's out in the country, so there was never no worries about what your neighbors thought. You could do whatever the hell you wanted without any neighbors getting in your way. There you see the woods down here. Now, a lot of things down here have changed since I've been gone because I haven't been here to keep it up. And a lot of people have ruined stuff, because I haven't been here. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things have gotten ruined. But when I stayed down here all the time, when I lived down here for over 20 years, what I done was I kept everything clean and neat and everything. But you think like everybody comes with a silver spoon in their mouth. They don't, But we might have not have lived in a big old house around here. But what we did have was land. And we had a lot of land. I'm going to show y'all. We're going to start. I'm going to walk down here all the way. I'm still walking on the property. And hopefully some of this property will be left to me one day. So it's still owned by my family. Check it out around here. Now, I used to have a 4-wheel trail where I could ride my 4-wheeler and my dirt bikes. I used to have them right down here. I don't know what's down here. I haven't been down here in a while. Right here is where I made the 4-wheel trail. The 4-wheeler trail right here. As you can see. A lot of memories right here. Me and my cousin Mark, and shout out to him and my cousin, my other cousins, and my sister Alice. Even my sister Lacey, man, we all used to have good times down here. Right there is, I think, a tree house that Mark and Alice built. Of course, if I built it, it would still be standing because I am, of course, a master master at carpentry. But as you can tell, my four-wheeler trail has now grew up. It used to come all the way from here, go all the way down there, and go that way too, and it'd be go down that way too, and there was a big hill over there that we would jump with the motorcycles. But now you see, once I left, there goes the four-wheel trail. It's ruined now. But man, did have some good times on the four-wheel trail. But yeah, it's grown up now. You know, I always, when I was down here growing up, I always wanted to live in the city. I always wanted to live in the city. And then when you grow up and you move to the city, you're like, fuck the city, man. I wish I was back out here. I wish I was back out here in the country where nobody can fuck with you. It's peace and quiet. You could play your music as loud as you want to, and you could do what you want to. Okay? You could do what you want to. Okay? And have no consequences or repercussions. It was a beautiful thing. I think I took living in the country for granted. I really did. Man, now I live in a brick house, and the brick house is nice and everything, but at the same time, the next door neighbors, they're just so fucking close. It's only like a half acre of land. But check it out down here. This is where I first lived with my mama, who's dead now. She passed away when I was 18. But when I was growing up, I lived down here first in this shitty little trailer, as you can see. It actually looked a lot nicer 20-something years ago, but of course it's went to hell now because there's nobody down here to take care of it. Oh, and over here, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted every fucking animal. I wanted every animal as a kid. Made it a list to do that. And there you see, there's one of my old rabbit cages. I had a shitload of rabbits. A shitload. I had so many rabbits that I had to let a bunch of them go, and they would just be hopping around the yard. Of course, they would have babies, and then the babies would get eaten by cats. But it is what it is. Now, down here, man, it was a nice little yard. Right there's where I had my first bicycle wreck and left a scar on my knee. But yeah, now this is my Uncle Tim's place. But this was actually, but he don't even stay in it no more. He stays up the road at my grandma's house right up there, which is on the same property. So nobody stays down here right now. So it's a damn shame. But also I want to show y'all. I thought this would be interesting, you know. If nothing else, just for me to go back and look back on. And you know, right here that's my uncle's dump truck. But yeah, I used to live down here first. Let me clear that up. This was the last place that my mama lived before she passed away. But while she was living down here, I moved out when I got older, and I moved to up the road right there to my grandma's on the same property once again, because down here we might have lived in fucking trailers or whatever, but we had plenty of fucking land, and that was all that mattered. We had over 7-8 acres of land. And as you can see, right there is where we used to play horseshoes all the time. We used to play horseshoes out here and have a good ass time. Right here is actually where I buried a couple of my horses that passed away. I really had bad luck with horses. Had one that got lightning struck. Had one that got West Nile virus from getting mosquito bit and had to be put down, and had one that got too old and had to be put down. You know, and I had another one got sick too. I don't remember what happened to it. But yeah, I had a lot of horses. And right here would be their graves. But check it out. You see, my family owns all this land, and it's like, they don't do nothing with it. They don't do nothing with it. So hopefully one day, you know, when I get older, I can find a way to build a house down here or something. Because I would love to be back down here in the cut, in the country, where everything is beautiful. The trees, the grass, the sky, the wide open spaces. That's what I'm talking about. The wide open spaces. After living in the city for the past 5 years, you come to miss those wide open spaces. And right there, y'all can see where I have my fence. It come from all the way down here, and it would go all the way up. And this is what I had my horses in. I probably had over 5 or 6 horses in my lifetime. Probably more. Also, I had other stuff in here, other animals. I probably had every kind of animal you could think of. Sorry if there's any wind, ladies and gentlemen, but it feels good to me. And right here used to be an apple tree. We'd always pick the apples at. Right there, there's still one apple tree left, so maybe there'll be some apples on it soon. And of course, the fence would go on up. On up. I told you, man, it ain't been kept up. But if it would have been kept up, it would have still been great. I wish I would have never gave up my horses, so I would have been able to come down here and ride them, you know. And yeah, and the fence, it went all the way this way too until it got tore down for some reason. But yeah, now back to the dirt road. The dirt road, because the dirt road is going to take us on a path. And by the way, this is my other backyard that I lived in when I was around. See, I lived down there when I was probably from age 4 to age 10. And from age 10 to age 15 or 14, I lived in this yard. But this is a different trailer. This is not the same trailer I lived in. The trailer I lived in got moved, and they moved the trailer in here. But the trailer I used to live in that was right here in this yard was a lot nicer, a lot newer, a lot better. But, and yeah, there's the barn right there. We always had the barn. We'd go in. Sometimes we made it our playhouse when we was kids, or when I got older. Of course, I'm the one that painted it red, made it look like a real barn, and had the horses in it. There you see my old address, 132. Remember, that's not the same trailer. The one I lived in was a lot nicer and got moved, and then my other uncle put this one in. But I lived in that one down there, and then I lived in the one that used to be here before it got replaced with that one. So there's two places I live down here on this property. As we go on, let's see. You see all that fucking poison oak? God damn. Let's see if we can make a shortcut up here without getting into some poison oak. That's what I'm talking about right here. I planted this motherfucker a long time ago right here. Also, I lived in that camper right there Um, whenever I was 18. Whenever I was 18, I moved in that camper, and that's when I first started smoking the weed. I first started smoking weed. I lived in the camper for probably about 2 or 3 years. No, I probably lived in the camper 2 years, and then after that, I would move to the house. I'd move to have my own house. See, right there's another rabbit cage. I told y'all I had a bunch of rabbits and shit. Had pigs, goats, chickens, pigeons, ponies, donkeys, horses. I got the chance to have all these kind of animals. Not many people do. They got some chickens down here now, actually. These are not mine, but that's my old rabbit. That's my old chicken cage right there. Check out the new chickens. Yeah, they all in there. But yeah, I used to live in that camper right there. It was a lot more cleaned up when I lived in it. When I lived in it, it was sitting right out here somewhere. It was a lot more cleaned up back then too. But after I moved out of the camper, I moved in the camper when I was 18 to 20. And then when I was 20, I moved in out here to my own house. And of course, it didn't look like this when I lived in it. It looked fucking way better, and I had it painted and fixed up. But while I've been gone for the last 5 years, a couple of sons of bitches moved in here and fucked it all up. That's what happens, though. I mean, you cannot rent your places out to meth heads and expect them not to fuck it up. But whatever. You know, it sucks because I had a lot of good parties in this house, had a lot of good times in this house. A lot of people will remember this house. We called it the Shack, you know. I ain't the one that came up with that fucking name because I thought it was a lot nicer than a shack. When I first lived in it, it was like a little cabin to me because I really fixed it up real good before the clowns came in and fucked it up after I moved out. There you see the barn down there. I'm the one painted it red and white. But, you know, over time, after time goes by, the paint starts to wear off and look bad, and everything needs a new paint job after a while. And look at the back of my old house now. I told you, man, the meth heads even ripped the roof off the back. They tore this house apart. But yeah, I had a lot of good times in there. If I didn't have shorts on right now, I'd walk in there and show y'all where my old room was and everything. Where the magic happened a lot of times. But I'm not going to walk in there with all that poison oak and get it on my fucking leg. That ain't going to happen. But yeah, this was my little backyard right here. And of course, right there beside that tree is where my horse got struck by lightning, right there beside that tree. So let's move on with the tour. I'm glad I got a chance to, you know, grow up out here in the country instead of the city. All my life I want to live in the city, and then when you live in the city, you realize how much the city sucks. Yeah, you're closer to everything, all the stores and all that, but everything else, I don't like the houses being so close. There's my uncle out there cutting grass right now. Oh yeah, the one bad thing about having a lot of land is it's a lot of work cutting the fucking grass. A lot of work. A lot of work. There you see the two boats right there. Right out here, my uncle used to live with my two cousins when he was married to his first wife. Of course, my two cousins, Chad and Casey, they both growed up now, moved out. long time ago. They've been gone a long time ago, but yeah, they used to live out here. So I would come out here and play with them or whatever when we was probably 5, 6 years old. Real young, real young. Um, but also, yeah, the horse fence that I had down here, it came all the way up to here too, and all the way out there. And the garden, we even had a garden. Still got a garden here, but I don't know if anything's planted or not. So right here is the garden. I mean, you see how much land it is down here, man. It's incredible. Oh, I used to play beside them trees right there all the time. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you know, see all this walking I'm doing? Can't do this at my new house. Only got a half an acre and all the houses is too fucking close. You see the closest house around here that's owned by some other family is right there, and it's across the road. And then there is no other houses down there. That one, that trailer down there, my family owns that one too. Oh yeah, let's take a walk right now. Let's take a walk. Right here, when you see this area, man, it's like I've walked these roads right here so many times, had so many good times, walked up and down these roads, fucked up as hell on liquor, drinking Everclear, R&R. We'd end up waking up in the ditch somewhere. But yeah, right there is my grandma's house. That's probably actually one of the first places I lived, other than the first place I showed y'all in this video. Is I lived right here when I was a baby too. After my mom and dad split up when I was a baby, I lived here for a while. And you can tell, man, it's just like beautiful shaded place, man. All these trees out here. I love the shade. I love the shade. Everything, man. This place is, you know, it might not be paradise to some people, but hell, I just like wide open spaces. I don't give a fuck where I'm at, as long as it's like wide open spaces like this, man. You can just go outside, have a great time, have a fucking ball if you wanted to. And yeah, I'm gonna show y'all. I'll show y'all. Yeah, I'll show y'all. All right, so then when I lived up here, this would be right before I lived in the camper when I was 18. So let's go back to around when I was 14, 15. I stayed in that room right there, the window right there where my thumb's at. Stayed in that room right there for a couple years until I got old enough to want to move into the camper, and then got old enough to want to move out to my own house out there, which it might have not have been much, but it was my house. It was my own place, my own shit. Got to do my own thing. And got to have a good time doing it too. You know? I got all kinds of parties I had out there. Bro, the shit was crazy. Telling you right now, if you haven't heard about the bad influence parties at the shack at the state line, then ask somebody. Ask somebody on my friends list on Facebook. Ask somebody that you see me tagged in the pictures with. They know we had some good ass times. But then I would turn 24. And when I was 24, it was time to grow up. It was time to move. And it was time to have a family. So then what I done was I kept looking and looking for a girl to be with on the internet. And then the whole damn time, the girl I was looking for wasn't on the internet. She actually just lived right up the road. So then I winded up moving in with her for a while. Where we would have our first kid together. And it would just be right up the road. It was so easy to walk from where my old place was to where I would be living at then when I had my first kids. So it'd be right there. And as you can see, it's actually a nice place. Hey, dog. But yeah. Hey. Hey, dog. Dog about to eat my ass up. But yeah, somebody else lives there now. Hey, boy. What you do? What you do? Yeah. Anyway, somebody else moved in right there. We stayed there about 2 years, and then this dog stalking me. We stayed there about 2 years after we got together, and maybe not even 2 years. I know I stayed there from 2014 to 2015, and then I would move to Boston. This is when I moved to the city, about when I was 25 or 20. Yeah, I was about 25. We moved to the city. We moved to Forest City, and we had our other 2 kids. And when you see all my other videos, that's where I'm at doing those videos. I'm in the city. But you see, sometimes you don't gotta look all around the world for the person you're supposed to be with. Sometimes they might just be right up the road, you know? See how short the walk is? It's not really that fucking long. Not really that long at all. I mean, yeah, I don't know who moved in up there, but they need to get their dog in. They need to get the dog in check. But yeah, you see, sometimes you don't gotta go looking on the internet, man, for chicks. Because your soulmate, you are not gonna be looking for. They'll find you when you least expect it. But yeah, all those other videos y'all see on my page, I do from the new place up there in Forest City, in Boston, North Carolina, in Forest City. But yeah, back down here, where I'm about to wrap up this video, because I had to give y'all a tour of where I grew up. Like I said, I was born in the city. I was born in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And I live in the city now, in Forest City. But there was a time period in between that I got to live out in the wide open spaces of the country. And I'm telling you, man, paradise. Paradise. Only thing missing is a lake. That's all we need. But we used to have, like, when it rains a bunch, it would look like a lake right here in the front yard. And me and my friends Tony and Cruz, we'd go out there and play in the water. But it was like playing in a little lake. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this swing right here, swing's been here since I was a kid. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, there's the room that I used to stay in. But yeah, just goes to show, don't matter how nice the place you're staying in is. If it's in the fucking city, man, to me, I'd rather be out in the country in a place like this. Wide open spaces, man. Raise some hell, and you can raise all the hell you want to. But yeah, nice little place out here in the cut. I still get to come down here, you know. Come down here every week. Check on my house. That's still my house, even though it's fucked up. Probably costs a lot of money to fix back up. But yeah, we're gonna end this video. And I'd like to thank y'all for joining me on my tour of my old stomping grounds where I grew up. And thank y'all for joining me for that dog, man. That dog about tore my ass up. So make sure y'all give this video a like, man, because I almost got my ass bit doing this video. So I appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and give it subscribe on the Descriptive Influencers channel. And shout out to everybody that grew up with me down here, that hung out with me down here, and that partied with me down here. Shout out to everybody. Love y'all all. Bad Influence family for life.